It
So
says live at the top.
maybe it's live for both of us then. So I got
It
the
says
warning
live, and then
message.
next to it says recording, and then there's a timer playing.
Oh, great. So I think we are live. So why don't you start by introducing yourself to all the viewers watching?
Oh, okay. My name is Chantell. I have spinal muscular atrophy, which is a genetic neuromuscular disorder that affects the muscles and the motor neurons coming from the brain that actually develops the muscles. So people without SMA have two genes that develop their muscles, the SMN1 gene and the SMN2 gene. I've only got the SMN2 gene, the SMN1 is missing. So my muscles, I was able to walk until I was about 7 years old. I used to waddle like a little duck. And then the doctor decided to put me in a wheelchair because they said it was bad for my back. So I've been in a wheelchair for 43 years now. In January, it was 43 years. And so, yes, I kind of forgot what it feels like to walk. And over the years, because I'm not putting weight on my legs or on my bones, I've developed osteoporosis. And yeah, it's a disorder that affects the voluntary muscles. So my muscles, like my arms and my neck and my legs, and yeah, all my muscles that move my body are very weak, and it gets weaker over time. But when I was first diagnosed in 1978 by Dr. Isaacs that worked at Wits, he told my parents that I would have about 4 to 12 years life expectancy. And I am happy to say that I've passed my expiry date a long, long time ago because I turned 50 in April.
That's
Um,
wonderful news. We're very happy to have you around.
so it's,
So we first started talking about this topic of Bitcoin and Nostr a few weeks ago. You had
yes,
quite a sad story to tell me about your first Bitcoin experience.
yes, I went and I started play. I like word games, so I started playing Scrabble Go on my phone. And one of the people who played with me was a guy called Richard. Well, he called himself Richard. I don't know whether that was his real name, but he then played one or two games with me, and then he lured me off Google Scrabble Go, and we went on to Google Chat, and eventually we ended up on WhatsApp. But he told me that he was an orthopedic surgeon working for the American Army as a contractor in Syria, and we started like having a relationship. Obviously, it was long distance. I've never met the man, and he then said, "Oh, I don't have food, so I must send him Bitcoin so that he can buy food." And then later on, he asked me for money to.
So hold on a sec. So you gave him the Bitcoin then. You gave him the money to buy
I
food.
I bought him, I think $100 worth of Bitcoin, which
Yeah.
was a lot of money for me, but that's what he needed to buy food. I later found out that if you work for the army on a catfish site, the people advocating against catfishing, they then educated me a bit, and then they said, well, when you're in the army, you actually get everything. You get your medical expenses are paid. You get food, you get accommodation, you get clothing, you get everything you need.
So
And then
this idea of a orthopedic surgeon working for the U.S. Army in Syria, not having enough money to buy food, didn't ring any alarm bells in your head,
Well, I
thinking,
didn't. It was my first experience on online dating. It was. I
hold
didn't
on a
know
sec.
what.
You didn't go online dating, did you? You just went to a game
Well, I
site
went on
and
to. I went to play Scrabble Go, and that's where we met. And then we
Exactly. So you
started.
you didn't go out looking for dating, right? You didn't go on a
No, I
dating
didn't.
app, and you
No, I
didn't
didn't.
actually pursue going on a relationship looking for someone. This is
No, I
just
didn't.
you, someone on an app befriending you and starting a
Yes,
conversation.
yes. And then we talked for like 2 or 3 weeks before we started asking for money for Bitcoin. And then when I said, but I can't give you more Bitcoin for your food, I mean, I also have to live. I also have to need money for myself. He
So
then said,
before,
oh, but
sorry, before you go on, how did you get the Bitcoin? What did how did you know about Bitcoin at the stage?
I didn't know anything about Bitcoin. He
Did you
told
ask
me
him
to
why
down.
Bitcoin? Why not just the money or something else? Why
Well,
Bitcoin?
he said he didn't have a way of getting to withdraw cash if I sent him cash. So he then told me to download an app, any app that I can then exchange money to Bitcoin, like Luno, and which I did, and he guided me through the process. Obviously, he was a scammer, but I didn't know it at the time.
You
And then
didn't
when
know
I
it at the
didn't,
time. All this time, you were still thinking that this guy's legit and he's really hungry and he needs
yes,
food and I need to help him.
yes, yes, because I've got too much of a soft heart, and yeah, I like helping people. So um, I went through this process with him, and then all of a sudden he said, but his son, who was staying with a nanny in America, because obviously the son can't be with him because his wife had passed away, so the son was growing up with a nanny, and then the son got sick, and he sent me pictures of the son that had an asthma attack, and he was in hospital, and he was actually in a like an emergency room, and he sent me photos of that. And then he wanted money to buy medicine for his son. And then a few days later, he said, "I know, but that wasn't enough. He needed more money for
So,
more medicine and doctor's fees." And
did
then
he
he
tell
sent
you
me
all
a
about did he tell you which medicines and what was needed
no. He
and
didn't. He didn't explain anything to me. He just said to me, because he sent me pictures of his child that was, and you could see that this child was really sick. He even had an asthma pump with him, and you could see he was ill. And then obviously he sent me a picture of the child in hospital. We was assessed by a doctor, and then I don't know, maybe the nanny took the photos. I don't know how he did it. But then a few days later, he sent me another photo of the son lying in his bed at home, still sick. So he still had to still waiting for his medicine because he didn't have enough money to pay for the medication. And yeah, so I sent him some more money. It cost me quite a bit of money in the end, but eventually I caught on to him, and I stopped giving him money.
how did
And
you
then,
eventually catch on to him?
well, I think there was a few, obviously uh, I was on the site where about that they were talking about catfish people, and they were giving us the red flags to look out for. And
So did you
I had enough of giving him
oh,
money.
so you went looking for information on catfishing and all of that by this stage?
Well,
Were you suspicious?
my sister, who passed away last year, actually sent me to the site because her and I got on quite well. And then she said to me, but she thinks he's a scammer. She had, although she's younger than me, she had more experience on these things than I did. So she actually got me on to join the site on Facebook. And yeah, I learned quite a bit there. And then I stopped sending him money, and then he just stopped. Well, we were still talking, and he tried to get more money, and I just said, "Sorry, I'm not giving you more money." And then he stopped talking to me altogether, and then I would hear from him maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month, eventually once every 2 months. And then he stopped talking to me altogether for about 6 months. And then he would send me a message and tell me he loves me and he wants me to marry him. And the whole scam thing. And eventually, because I didn't give him money, he just stopped communicating. He just started ghosting me.
So
So, but
even
yeah,
after you've identified him as a scammer, you still kept in contact with him.
we were talking. We were just talking, but I mean, I stopped giving him money at all. So we were just talking about everyday things.
You didn't call him out on being a scammer and taking so much money
I
from
did,
you.
and he laughed at me. I told him, I think you're a scammer, and he just laughed at me.
And
He would,
then did you consider that, hey, I just got conned by a scammer, and you still
well, I
continue to
wasn't
speak with
very
him?
happy that I found out that I was conned,
Yeah.
but what could I do? My money was gone, so it was a hard lesson to learn.
So what did that make you feel about Bitcoin?
Well, it didn't give me, although it was, I mean, it wasn't Bitcoin, it wasn't the Bitcoin currency that did me wrong. It was a person that did me wrong. I just didn't understand the whole Bitcoin situation, except that I know that, to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin is quite a bit of money. So I was really weary of Bitcoin. But I've since I met you. You've slowly introducing me to the better side of Bitcoin with the Bitcoin sites that you've been giving me to look at. And yes, I'm enjoying those. Those are similar to Twitter and things, and Facebook and things like that. So those social apps are nice.
Yeah, let's
Where I
talk
can
about Nostra, hey? We started speaking about this because I told you I just discovered Nostra and I was applying for funding from Bitcoin Ikasi. And you agreed to be my guinea pig for me to introduce you to Nostra and check out the community. What can you tell
yeah.
me about your experiences with Nostra since you first heard about it?
Well, I joined Plebster and it's great fun because there's quite a bit of interaction. And there's actually people that say, they put art on there and they talk about anything and everything. And some people are quite fascinating to watch the conversations that they are having with others. And of course, if you say something or somebody likes a picture that you put on the site, then you get zapped and you get a few sats, which I've learned is one of the smallest, or is the smallest amount of Bitcoin that you can get. But I'm getting there. I'm slowly learning, and I'm enjoying the experience.
Yeah, I'm glad. Earning sets is like a much better experience than losing lots of money to a scammer
Yes,
in
yeah,
the beginning. It's a much nicer experience when you're accumulating instead of
yes.
losing it that way.
I grew up very, very protected. So, I mean, I was in boarding school since grade two all the way until I finished school. And from there, I stayed with my parents until 2006 when I moved into a self-help center where I stay with 6 other quadriplegics where we share caregivers services. So I wasn't exposed to things like Bitcoin and the bigger world outside as much as I am now. So yes, I do. I've done some foolish things in my life. Getting involved with the scammer had a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah, I must say, losing your money to leverage trading and shitcoining like I did is probably a worse thing than losing your money to some charming scammer that steals your heart. Maybe it's worse when you lose your heart to someone like that than losing the money, or it's a very expensive, painful lesson to learn that someone
Yes, it is.
can
Yeah. It's
take
not
something so
only
precious.
you don't not
Go ahead.
you don't just lose your money, but you also kind of lose your trust in people, and it makes you think
Yeah,
twice when you meet somebody new, whoever it is. You kind of think, what's going on? Is it another scammer, or is it going to be real this time? So I've been yeah, it's a difficult process because you do lose trust in humanity.
true. Humanity is at a precarious point at the moment, I think. There's a lot of evil just being expressed so blatantly at the moment, I think. Do you
Yes,
mind just speaking a bit about your living arrangement in your assisted house that you are at?
not at all. The place that I stay in is called the Remelos Self-Help Center for Quadriplegics. And as I said, six, we are six quadriplegics at the moment. We've got another room open for another person to move in. And we have caregivers that then take care of us. They put us into bed and take us out of bed, and they shower us and dress us, and because there's very little that I can actually do for myself. I have to actually put my arm onto my dressing table if I want to brush my own hair, because I can't even reach my own head to brush my own hair. So they have to help me get dressed. They have to help me go to the bathroom. They have to, if I'm in bed, they have to feed me if I need to eat. If I'm in my wheelchair, I'm able to eat on my own because my chair's armrests assist me to lift my hand to reach my mouth. But otherwise, I can basically lift my hand to my cheek. Otherwise, it doesn't go any higher. I'm not strong enough to lift my arms. And as I get older, I'm getting weaker, but I also go to physio once a week. And in winter, he uses, obviously, he then just presses the knots for me and uses laser and ultrasound. And then he also does dry needling. And then after that, he uses kinetic tape to strap my sore muscles, like in my neck or my shoulders, which then helps with the muscle tone. But that comes off when it starts itching, I have to take it off. And it usually lasts about between 3 and 5 days before I have to remove the tape. And then in February, I started with going a massage. And then you started massaging me in March, on the 8th of March. And yes, we've had 11 sessions, and it's fantastic. It's benefited my health tremendously. I haven't had, well, I had my first bout of pneumonia in 2015, and after that, it was every 2 years I go to hospital for 2 weeks with pneumonia or bronchitis. And this year, I haven't even had a sniffle. And my doctor and my physio both firmly believe that it's because of the benefits from the Kuna massage that you give me every 3 weeks with all the breathing exercises obviously the massages helps my muscles to it definitely releases knots, and I've had a lot of benefit from it, so I'm very happy.
Yeah, I'm happy that Kahuna, or the massages that we do, has benefited your life in this way. At some point in time, I hope to introduce or do some more work with the massage and do something here on Nostra. I don't know exactly. Chantell, you gone? Oh, you're back, Chantell. You were just gone for a sec. I thought I lost you. Can you hear me? You still there? Chantell? Can you hear me, Chantell? I'm not sure if you're hearing me.
We've just started load shedding, so I think that's why we lost connection for a while.
Oh, is that what happened? Load
Yeah,
shedding just
yeah,
kicked in over there. It
yes,
started on 4 o'clock, so you got 2 hours
yeah,
of.
46. The
Sorry
joys
about
of
that.
living in South Africa.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
So being back in the dark ages, but we survived.
Yeah, we're surviving. Hey, we are strong that way. Do you mind just talking just a little bit about a little bit more about Kahuna massage and what it's done for you? I like it when other people speak about how they're experiencing it instead of just me speaking about like just speaking about it. It's better coming from someone who receives it.
Well, I really enjoy it. I mean, when you come, my caregiver puts me on the table, and then we go into that breathing exercise where we everything where we kind of sync our bodies, and we listen to nice music. And yes, I can just lie back and you do all the hard work, or most of the hard work, and I can just relax and get my muscles rubbed and the muscles squeezed and all the knots going disappearing. And sometimes I even, when we finish, I feel like a blob of jelly. It's just I'm just so relaxed, and it clears my mind. It just makes me feel so much better. It takes away problems that I have, and for that 90 minutes, it's just you and me and the music, and it's just bliss.
Yeah, we met at the time when I was unsure about what direction my life was going to take. And being or working as a massage therapist was an option. And yeah, it came at a very opportune time in my life because I was a bit searching. And then I discovered Nostra and the opportunities that are available in, just with the new open source protocol for social media and for the opportunity of Bitcoin adoption, especially in the locations in Ikasi with the Bitcoin Ikasi Fund. So I wouldn't say that I was torn, but it's a nice place that I'm in where I've got you as one client that I see regularly, and I've got this new project, and we are experimenting with one thing now.
Yeah,
Me doing live streams, purple pilling people like you into the Nostra ecosystem, and I see a potential for them coming together. Maybe me. Well, obviously, the one is accepting Bitcoin payments for the massages I do. That's a very easy one. But another one of just maybe broadcasting a massage session to all the viewers, and they can zap sats for if they think it's worthwhile. I don't know. It's a long way to go. I'm still learning about a lot of things, Nostra being one of them. Um, the massage, obviously, I've done it for a long time in my life, and it's been of amazing benefit to me. And I'm really glad that I
and
could
you're really
share
good
it.
at it.
Yeah, I'm very good at it. I spent a lot of time really developing it as a craft. So I went deeply into the physiology, and it's not much I can speak about because for me, it's like so. It's it's like asking an artist or a craftsperson like detail about it. You can't really speak about it. You just so in the moment when you're doing it. That's why I asked you
Yeah,
to speak about it a lot because the effects of it are spoken through by you. I do the work, but that work is just what I've like programmed into my body to perform almost like a rote. It's so like ingrained into the cells of my body or the DNA of my being that it's hard to communicate what I'm actually doing because
yeah,
it's just me. That's how I communicate. I do the massages. So
yes.
one way of communicating it is via live streaming and doing like a live stream of a video. So maybe I should leave that as if you're interested in watching a Kahuna massage being performed, then leave a comment. let's see how many people have actually watched 25 minutes into the stream to actually be interested in a kahuna massage and a live stream of it. I don't know if they'll broadcast it or stream it over on YouTube. Maybe they will, but definitely on Nostra. So I wanted to ask you just a bit to talk a bit more about what your understanding about Bitcoin is now. What do you what have you learned about Bitcoin since the very beginning, since the time, even if it's as simple as, download this X wallet, deposit money into the account, buy, send to this wallet address. Like, what do you know about Bitcoin?
Well, over the weekend, I had quite a bit of fun. I mean, I was busy the whole Saturday trying to set up 2 funding sites to try and get some sats to fund my medication that I have applied for from medical aid, which I'm not sure I'm going to get because it's one of only 3 medications in the world that actually work for people with spinal muscular atrophy. And this is the only one available to me in South Africa. It's extremely expensive. It's capped at, if you weigh more than 20 kilograms, which I obviously do, it's capped at 4 million rand a year. So it's quite a bit of money that the medical aid will have to fork out for me to get this medication. But both my neurologist and my physio think it will benefit me greatly because it will actually slow down my degeneration of my disorder. I might actually become a little bit stronger rather than weaker. And so, with your help and your guidance on Saturday and all your patience with me, I was able to set up a nodeless profile and a Giza profile to ask people to zap me or send me sats for the medication. I don't have a lot of people to send the links to, so I've posted it on Plebster. You've also reposted it. I've also put it on Facebook for my friends to see, and I actually made it a public post, so whoever goes there will see it. And hopefully I'll be able to raise some funds. Otherwise, it was a nice experience battling the system to try and get all the keys and all the setup of the programs done, so that I can actually use them, and setting up the wallets, and it was fun. I enjoy a challenge like that.
That's good. So that's very advanced. That's already dealing with wallet, Nostra Wallet Connect, and Wallet of Satoshi, custodial Lightning Wallet. So that's very advanced. But just in your own words, like what's your idea of what Bitcoin is and why Bitcoin is important?
Well, I don't really know much. Still don't know much about Bitcoin. But I think it's got a future. I think with world currencies where they are at the moment and exchange rates getting out of hand, I think Bitcoin's got a place in the world to actually become a currency that people can use to pay. I actually saw an ad somewhere in the media over the weekend, I think, that said that you can now pay at Pick and Pay with Bitcoin. So I don't know how they work it, but
Yes, that's
yeah,
exactly right. Hey, there's a company called Crypto Convert, and you download an app that basically speaks to your Lightning wallet and either creates or broadcast a QR code. Or no. What you do is it reads, it scans QR codes. So when you go to Pick and Pay and it's time to pay, you can ask them for a QR code scanner, and then they've got this new technology where they display a QR code on the payment,
okay.
And then instead of paying with your credit card or something, you can scan this QR code or with
Okay.
Crypto Convert. And then Crypto Convert will send a message to your Lightning wallet. In your case, it will be Wallet of Satoshi. I'm using
Yes.
Zeus, so it will speak to Zeus. And then if you got the requisite amount of sats on there, it will make a payment to Pick and Pay. But that money is
Yes.
coming out of your Lightning wallet.
Yes. So
So
yes,
yeah, that's a very good thing.
I think Bitcoin has got a future. And hopefully there will be more shops that will actually buy into this concept.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope that more merchants will come on board. But I think, and I'm starting to believe now that the way that more adoption can happen will probably be through Nostra and getting people like you to create content, to start using it as a social media, to also raise funds on sites like Giza. And did you ever raise funds on GoFundMe or any of those kind of platforms for any project previously?
We tried for on Greater Good South Africa for our center and also Backer Buddy, but we weren't because we are a charity organization, obviously an NPO, but we weren't ever very successful with that because those people all take quite a percentage of your money.
How
Well, I
much?
think
Do you know what percentage
I
it
think
is?
I think the one side takes about 5% of your money um, as an administration fee. It's not exorbitant, very big amounts. But I mean, if you're a charity and you are raising funds to sustain yourself, then every little bit counts. So, but yeah, we haven't been very successful with. At that time, they were called Greater Good South Africa. Now they've changed their name. And then there's Backer Buddy, and there's a few of these charity type crowdfunding things, but I think Bitcoin will be a better one.
Yeah, Bitcoin I think will be a
That's my
better one
personal
too.
experience. Pardon?
I think the Giza fund has got a 2% transaction fee. And if you run a Lightning node yourself, I think having a Lightning node for you may be a bit too complicated at the moment. But if you got your own
Yeah,
Lightning node, then they don't charge you any transaction fees. All the funds you raise is for you. But yeah, maybe at a later stage you can talk about you having your own Lightning node, setting up your own node, getting
yeah,
sponsored by Voltage or something, some way.
yeah.
But can you speak a bit about your experience in your onboarding experience with Nostra? How easy was it to set up Nostra, post, connect your Lightning wallet? So what's the experience like?
Well, you gave me a link for Plebster, which I downloaded, and then it wasn't very difficult to go onto Wallet of Satoshi to go and set up that link. I like to fight. When I was very young, my cousin gave me a computer which I actually fought through. It was still a DOS computer before Windows, so it was ancient. And yes, I fought whatever I know of computers. I taught myself. So every time I get into a new thing that's a bit difficult, I kind of apply my mind and just fight it until I get it done. And if I would like over the weekend, you were available to just guide me through some of the steps, which helped me a great deal. And then yeah, it was fun because I like the challenge of setting it up.
And finally, before we end, is there any advice you can give to people that are new to Nostra, what it's like, what it's about, how to join, and what they can expect?
Well, at the moment, I'm having quite a bit of fun. I'm learning. Well, there's obviously new people that you meet, new people that you can talk to on the social apps that's available. And yeah, I'm enjoying the experience for the moment. I'm very new to it. I'm very green. So I'm learning and I'm enjoying it. I think people can really try and take that step towards going on to Nostra and using some of the apps available to them. There's even some games that you can play where you can win sets. And that's also quite easy. Obviously, there are more difficult levels that you get to. It's more difficult to earn the sets, but that's even a time wasting way of earning money. Even
Earn
though
money
it's a
for
little bit
wasting time.
you play games and you get paid, although it's very small amounts, but you get sats for it, and it's fun.
And a final word, you raising funds for medication for yourself. Do you want to just make a call out to people that are watching to send you some money and what it's going to be used for?
Well, like I said, this is a medication that will turn the SMN2 gene into an SMN1 gene that will actually develop my muscles. Obviously, I won't get strong and be as strong as any able-bodied person who hasn't got a disability, but it will definitely keep me from getting weaker. And yes, my physio reckons that if I get my arms and my neck muscles a bit stronger, I might actually have a lot less pain than I'm having at the moment. Because at the moment I have pain 24/7. It just never goes away. And the pain medication that the doctors prescribe for me all contain codeine, so I'm very wary of that. Not just only because codeine it can be addictive, but it also makes me constipated. So that's got a negative for me as well. So I only take that medication when I really don't have another choice. So otherwise, I just live through the pain every day. Some days are good, some days are bad. And then obviously your massage and my physio helps me. In summer, I can swim he puts me in the pool and I swim. And that movement gives my body a bit, strengthens my muscles a little bit. It builds, it's just nice. The freedom that I have in the water, that I don't have to sit in my wheelchair all day. And although it's just for an hour that I'm in the water, but it's a bit of freedom once a week, weather providing, obviously. Because if it's too cold, I can't swim. Otherwise, I get sick.
I hope it's a warm day tomorrow because you're going to see your physio tomorrow, aren't you?
Yes, they've predicted 24 degrees for us tomorrow with sunshine. So anything above 20 degrees, I'm in the water tomorrow. Just have some
Brilliant.
fun.
Chantell, thank you so much. You've spoken for almost 40 minutes. I really appreciate you coming on stream and talking about your experiences, especially all the painful ones. Sorry that you had to go through it.
That's a big pleasure, Arun. Thank you for allowing me the time.
That's a horrible way for anyone to learn about Bitcoin. It's for me, Bitcoin's a revolution. It's an opportunity for the playing field as it relates to money to be equalized, and to be for it to be used to scam you in such a horrible way. I think it's
But
just disgusting.
my story can also be a lesson to others to be wary of it, to watch out for people, to be not so that they don't get scammed. So my negative can be used as a positive as well for other people not to get scammed.
I think so too, and I'm really grateful that you've shared your story with anyone that may be watching.
No problem. It's a big pleasure.
Thanks again, Chantell. Speak to you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
Arun. Okay, bye-bye.